If you're a property manager searching for an answering service, you are at the right place. In the video, I'm going to cover the 4 options and then go over by unit size and cost, which is the right solution for you. So if you stay to the end of this video, I promise to get to all 4 of those things. Now let's get into it. So what is a property management answering service? It is a service that picks up your tenant calls after hours and when the office is closed. And if it's a good service, it can escalate real emergencies from ones that can wait until the morning. It can log things until the next day, whether that's a leasing inquiry, a maintenance ticket, or an FAQ from a client who called in after hours. So let's go into what makes an emergency call. Emergency call is not my neighbor's playing music too loud, I'm locked out, or my fridge stopped working, right? It's a call that, hey, there's a fire in my building, I smell gas, there's a flood, anything that needs to be addressed immediately to protect your asset, to make sure that the asset does not get destroyed overnight. That is a true emergency that needs to be escalated immediately. So now we know what emergency call is and how to handle it. Let's go into the 4 options. Okay, so the first option is getting someone who is on call or rotating who's on call after hours. And it costs nothing on paper. So I actually believe for a smaller portfolio or unit count, this is actually the right option, right? Because if you have 30 units, 100 to 200 units, you're not getting a ton of after hours calls, and routing them to an answering service or a call center is a waste of money when you can just address those yourself, when it's usually like 1 call a month might be an actual emergency. So it's not worth it for you at that scale. Not only does it cost you salary during the night, but also it's burning out your property managers to have to go and address the emergency calls or be waking up at 2 a.m. to address something at their job. It's just unpleasant. That's the first cost of having a system like this in place at scale, is the burnout. And second is the logging of all that information into a CRM or a ticketing system the next morning, where you need to keep track of all these things, right? A lot of times property managers will wake up in the middle of the night. They're not going to go do their due diligence and log all these things manually when they woke up at 2 a.m. into their system. They're going to go address the problem and then forget about it. However, if you're a smaller unit size, just make sure you're kind of rotating this position with whoever else you're working with and try to keep the burnout to a minimum. And if you are getting burnt out, then it might be time for another solution. So option number 2 is a live answering service. And I think this is where a lot of medium-sized property managers live, is hiring one of these services to answer calls after hours. And it's a pretty good one, right? They know their handbooks, they know their playbooks, they know when something should be escalated and when it shouldn't be escalated. And I think an answering service is a really great option if you're providing a luxury concierge service 24/7 that can be handled. The only thing about an answering service is that it gets pricey at scale. It can be around anywhere from $3 to $5 a minute. So if you're getting X amount of calls, usually 20 to 50, or sometimes if you're a really big property manager, hundreds after hours, that adds up quick. So it can be a massive expense on your cash flow statement every single month. So that brings me to the next option, which is an AI receptionist, option number 3. So obviously I work at front desk, we do an AI receptionist, and we built this to be a better alternative to an answering service. For one, what I just talked about is typically a fraction of the cost of what an answering service or call center for a property manager will cost. And then 2, it can escalate emergency calls perfectly. It can transfer it in the snap of a finger to an emergency operator when it is a true emergency, protecting the asset further. And then number 3, it logs everything perfectly into your CRM or ticket, so your management has perfect oversight and view into what's going on at each one of their properties, whether they're there or not. And then another thing is, most AI receptionists, if they're good, like front desk is, they integrate with Yardi, Appfolio, Buildium, and Entrata natively. A lot of these other AI receptionists do not do that. So just make sure you're picking the correct one. Okay, then option number 4 is you don't even pick up the call and it goes to voicemail. I don't even think I need to go through of why that's a bad option. It's not protecting the asset. Someone can get hurt or injured if there's an actual emergency. And number 3, all those other calls you're getting in after hours, whether it be a leasing request, a regular maintenance ticket, you'll have to sit down every morning and go through an hour of voicemails, which is just really not worth your time, right? Use an answering service, use an AI receptionist to actually address those issues in the moment. So when you wake up, you can see the 5 tickets you need to address for the day, the 3 people you need to call back who are interested in your apartment. So that's what you should be doing if you are a great operator. So my recommendation for how you should pick, if you're under 50 units, you should have someone who is on call rotating between you, your business partner, or one other person. And then there are also some really cheap answering services or AI receptionists out there, if you so choose, are like below $100 a month. We have a plan on our website that's like 20 or $100. That's a decent option. We're providing a luxury service that is a luxury senior living community. You are doing a luxury hotel, some sort of really high class luxury option. I think a 24/7 concierge makes sense, or a 24/7 answering service or call center makes perfect sense for your use case, because you're providing a high ticket item that requires a level of immediateness and service level that the person is paying you for. And then I think for everything else, the best option is an AI receptionist, right? Because it's a fraction of the cost. It can route emergency calls the fastest and at scale. It can triage maintenance requests by severity level and what needs to be addressed first. And it can address leasing options, or could even book a leasing tour for someone after hours. For those reasons, it can pretty much do the same thing an answering service can at a lower cost. And why wouldn't you want that? So those are your options. Pick wisely. And if you are looking for an AI receptionist, go to myaiprincess.com and you can actually make one for yourself through our self-serve in about 2 minutes and hear what it sounds like for your property. So give us a like, comment, and follow us, and make sure to follow us for more voice, AI, and property management content.